What's going on, everyone? So the Los Angeles Lakers signed RJ Davis, and we got to see him in summer league. Now we're going to get to see him in training camp. Now they signed him to an Exhibit 10. Been going through the Exhibit 10 guys, talked about Eric Dixon, talked about Arthur Kaluma. If you're interested in those two guys, go check out those videos. But RJ Davis was brought for training camp. Got an Exhibit 10. You kind of have these four players that are all kind of playing for likely one um, you two-way spot, right? Maybe if the Lakers end up pulling off a trade or making a move or something, then maybe it'll be two, or maybe even a main roster spot. But I personally think Eric Dixon, if any of the guys are going to be on the main roster, it'd probably be Eric Dixon because he's the most ready, like NBA ready player. But also, maybe a Christian Koloko makes the roster and you open up two. But as of right now, you got one two-way spot and you kind of have these four guys playing for it. I want to start by saying I don't think personally RJ Davis is going to get that spot. I think the fact that the Lakers brought in Chris Menon, I think he's going to, he kind of makes these other two guards redundant. We'll talk about the other guard later, but want to talk about RJ Davis. However, I still want to break him down because you never know, right? If he's just that impressive in training camp. To me, I look at this as just he's a guard that they're bringing in to apply pressure and challenge the guards that we have. Right? Have him be a guy that can just be relentless in attacking Luka and Gabe Vincent and Bronny James and Marcus Smart and these guys. And just I think he's kind of the guy that's going to be on the B team to match up to the A team and A plus, A 1A, 1B team. There we go. And that kind of thing, right? That's kind of what I look at with RJ Davis. Now, look, I like RJ Davis. He's 23. He'll be 24 going into October, but he's a 6-foot guard. He's an undersized guard. Now, he does make up for that with his abilities to kind of just be a floor general, be a guy that can make some plays out there. Athletic, can be that defensive kind of two-way 3-and-D style guard. He is a guy that, has had a longer college career, which the Lakers historically have liked those kind of players, right? But I think given him being as undersized as he is, and you already have guys like Bronny James and now you got Marcus Smart, and we'll see what they do with Gabe Vincent and stuff. I just don't know where he fits. Now, he is a guy that, again, can run an offense, make some plays, play some defense, hit shots, apply rim pressure, all of that. He had himself, a solid college career. He played 5 years with North Carolina, so he comes from a pristine program. He comes from a pristine organization. But also, you look at his three-point shooting. He was a career in college, a career 36.7% three-point shooter on 5.6 attempts. So a guy on volume, which is good. Like I said, he could be that 3-and-D style guard. Now, I could maybe see if the Lakers were to maybe move off of Gabe Vincent, right? And if he shoots really well in training camp, maybe they bring, because Chris Menon, he isn't a good three-point shooter. He is excellent defensively. He's a very good defensive guard, right? Like think of like Max Christie when he came to the league. Really kind of shaky, shooting the basketball, a lot of questions offensively, but he was looked at as like a guy that can have an impact immediately defensively. It's kind of what Chris Menon is, right? However, RJ Davis, he's somebody that I think could maybe give you the 3-and-D guard. So if the Lakers were to maybe trade Gabe Vincent and he was just balling out in training camp and, knocking down the three ball with some consistency and able to play on ball and play off ball and stuff, and maybe give you a little more consistency, particularly shooting the basketball, because Gabe Vincent's not a great three-point shooter. He can be a little streaky, a little inconsistent. If Davis kind of come in and show that he can be a consistent three-ball shooter, then that maybe could end up getting him where he needs to go. But I think he'd have to shoot pretty, I think 37% is probably not going to be enough for the Lakers to justify that. Like if he comes in and he's just like lights out and they're like, let's see what he looks like. And, maybe they give him a shot, then maybe we could see something like that. But just something to keep in mind. Last year, though, however, on 6.5 attempts, he did shoot 35.4%. However, the year previous, so the 2023-2024 season, he shot 40% on 7.7 attempts. So if he could get to that, where he's giving you like 8 attempts a game, so basically excellent volume, and knocking down the 3 ball at a 40% clip, as well as being able to make plays and defend and stuff, then I could maybe see him kind of carving out that, like, maybe like the Tyus Jones type of role where he's like just a backup. Like, I think RJ Davis will stick with the Lakers. Like, I think RJ Davis will be a guy that the Lakers keep under the banner. I just don't know if it'll be a two-way or actual roster spot. I look at it more as like they'll keep him on the G League team, right? And then in a year or two, bring him up if he kind of continues. Like, so he's a guy that I think will be on the Lakers Summer League roster next year too. And then, if he's really good in that Summer League, then they'll bring him in and let him get a chance. My concern, he's just, he'll be 24 and then next year will be 25. And like, if he's not on the roster by then, it's kind of tough, because now it's like, you spend another year or two, he's like supposed to be in his prime, and it's his first year in the league. And it usually takes guys a year or two to kind of get themselves, comfortable. By the time he's actually ready, he's like 30. It's like, how many years? I mean, even as just like a cheap kind of rotation piece, maybe. But anyway, don't want to sell the kid too short, but we got to be honest. On 7 attempts, shot 47% from the field this season, EFG of 50%. Free throw shooting, 87.3%. He's a career 86.1%, and that's because of his first 2 years. He shot 82 and 83%. Then he shot 88.1%, 87.3, and 87.3. Both of those seasons were 4.5 attempts. So excellent free throw shooter. Rebounding, 3.5 rebounds, which he is a career 3.8, so basically 4 rebound a game guy. 4 assists, 3.6 if you want to be exact. A steal will be nice and round up to half a block, and 17.2 points per game. So again, he's a guy that can defend, run an offense, be your point of attack, 3-and-D style guy. He's a guy that I do think can really have an impact, and a guy that I do think is worth at least keeping under the banner. I just think, if we're being honest, given the Lakers and where they're at, I don't know if he makes the 2-way, right? And I think guys like Kaluma should be over RJ Davis personally. Like, I think Kaluma's a guy that you should bring in better. He's younger, he's bigger, right? Gives you the ready now defense. You just kind of need to work on his 3-point shot. I'd rather go that route for me personally. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot as we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.